Purnaji, ma verbally भनिदिन्छु नि
Okay,
दादा.
okay, please go on.
I think
Yeah.
that's better.
Yeah.
Okay, so TREBको अहिलेको recent 2023 मा release भएको market according to their data in January 2023 they had about 3,100 sales, and going back to January 2022 they had about 5,594 sales. So obviously we can see that the number of sales are lower, but that doesn't mean the price is actually low, right? So what is this leading is my personal experience coming into the market is let's say I take about 4 or 5 buyers at once hunting for homes. What's the most challenge is we don't have enough inventories, right? Of course, there is an advantage to the buyer. You know, we can demand a lot of things. Unlike those high market last year, we couldn't demand. It was like you take the house as it is, like no inspection or whatever. At least today's market, the buyers have an advantage. Okay, so well, I want inspection, I want this, I want that, right? But again, with the low inventory, finding a home for a buyer has been very challenging too. So going back, let's analyze the price now. As you've already seen that the number of home sales is probably due to the inventory is low too. Now, looking at the price on January 2023, I'm just going to put the number for you, 1038668. I'm not sure how to interpret that number. So I can see that there is a decrease of only 200,000 in comparison to January 2002. So looking at the number January 2002, the Toronto MLS gave a data saying there's about 1242407. So I mean, do you think it's a big, 200,000? I think it is. No, sorry, my apologies.
So basically, you are saying there is a very less.
I'm just saying there is like a change of price in 200,000 in a year, out of like you're selling like 3,000 homes, right? So do you think it's much of a market drop? Like, I don't see much of a drop. Of course, last year, like I've seen some of my, when I do some of the home valuation, if people ask me, they're like, okay, well, they have paid over 300,000 per home. You know what I mean? I'm not sure how they got the value. I think they even put some cash from their pocket, like coming to this year, those homes don't have that much value even, right? So 200,000, I mean, like it's not much of a difference comparing with the
continue I will continue with that. So basically, lender like bank or wherever you work, any lenders, banks or credit union or whatever, then after other segment of lender, they look for real value, either real value or this income of the people. They look balance both self. So given only value of this property, is that worth of value, or they are looking more on the other side of income side of the people, because they have the income, regular income in Ontario. At least they don't set any job in even now market. Even the higher interest rates, default is very low. So how industry is reneging this new reality? Amrita Bhattarai.
So Jimmy had pointed something out earlier, which was, something that I think anyone in the mortgage industry over the last year has experienced, which is appraisals coming in light. Okay, especially in these submarkets, especially for these new builds, right? Because they were once upon a time sold at a market value that was supposed to go high, around the time that people moved in. But I was in many situations where appraisals were coming in $150K, $160,000 less. So in this market, it's a complex issue because it involves appraisal values on homes and properties, right? You have to be careful about what you're buying. There is still bidding wars that are happening in the GTA. That's still happening. People don't realize that there's bidding wars, but I think it's just buyers have more choice. The ones that can qualify are buying. The ones that can't qualify are being cautious, as they should, right? the interest rates when they were low, almost nothing at 1%. It took us about 3 to 4 weeks to get a deal completed. That's how much volume was coming through the door. Analysts weren't able to do it. Like the bank said, 3 to 4 weeks. I remember how frustrating it would be, but now within 1 day, you can get an approval back. So that just kind of tells you what the volumes are like at the bank, right?
Yeah.
Everywhere, it's lower. It's lower than it was before, but I think at the same time, this market proves that, you know, economics has to make sense because the GTA is the GTA, it's the economic hub. So the GTA is remaining strong, right? Property, like appraisals are coming in fine. I think I've been seeing a lot of investor action, right, in this type of market because, you know, the rule is what? Buy low, sell high, right? But we freak out when it's low, right? But on the other side, there's investors that will look at it and they'll say, okay, no, this is the perfect time to buy because what goes up must come down. Rates are high. Hopefully we're reaching a peak, right? And there's some big banks in the US that are going under. So if there's a chance of rates going down sooner, it might happen within the year, right? If not sooner. Once rates go down, the market will shift, right? Because this market is very heavily tied to interest rates because everyone's borrowing to buy a house, right? But it's very difficult times right now, right? People are up to their neck in debt. So this is like if there's more rate hikes to come, this might be a doom for the market, right? But if this is the peak and it slowly starts coming down, it might balance things out.
Okay, perfect. Bank of Canada indicated that they are not going to increase any rate very soon. So that will be stable point or somewhere. In a global scale, most of countries, they are almost stop the hiking of the rate around 4.5. So most industry would say that is this a kind of balanced market for livable, but investment is a different story. मान्छेको घर चाहिँ बस्नको लागि पनि चाहिन्छ द्याट इज बेसिक निड भर्खरै गभर्नमेन्ट अन्टारियोले पनि भर्खरै चाहिँ 1.3 मिलियन घर अन्टारियोको लागि चाहिन्छ भनेको चाहिँ देख्दाखेरि मार्केट त्यसै तल आउने हाले जस्तो देखिदैन मैले जिमीलाई यसमा जोड्न चाहे जिमीजीले अहिले न्यू प्रोजेक्ट स्टिल ही इज डुइङ न्यू प्रोजेक्ट डिफरेंट सेगमेंट इन Ontario जिमीजी हाउ न्यू कंस्ट्रक्शन इज गोइङ अन देन ओल्डर हाउस हाउ इज अ मार्केट business activity you can see in new project. Jimmy, I will. You can you add on that? Please unmute and go from there.
So new constructions right now we are ramping up. We have on the pipeline we have 4 to 5 projects on the pipeline. We just work on Mila, and I just want to congratulate all those guys who got it. We sold detached and townhouses in Midland and Lawrence. I just want to congratulate, and they're going to be signing like next week. So having said that, we had like huge demand, huge demand. We had like worksheets coming out of Yin Yang. Like there was like a lot of worksheets. We were not releasing a lot of units. So for a project on the east end is I would say probably the hottest commodity right now. People are buying. It's going off the shelf. People are lining up. There was a lineup at Mattamy. There was a lineup at Great Golf, Pratty's. We had lineups up everywhere. Just wanted to let everybody know that, like, you know, like that new home constructions are happening. People are buying it. People are locking it, and you can see on my thing, we're gonna be releasing one in Oshawa very soon. We have Oshawa's, Whitby, Brampton North, Brampton, Caledon, like a border, like in Castlemore and Gore Road. We have projects coming like all the time, and there will be a lot of allocations done to, like, we're 5 to 10 realtors who works exclusively in this kind of environment, and definitely it's a win-win situation for a buyer who is looking to buy now but don't want to get into mortgage right now. They want to buy, give the installments, and then maybe in a year or 2 years they will have the possession. So having said that, builders are releasing. Builders, there's a lot of confidence in the market right now. People are coming in. The whole market is driven by the immigration and good job market. So I think the markets in GTA is going to be robust, and moving forward, it will just be stronger and stronger and stronger.
I want to add with Kamalaji, being also woman and also a kind of is a more male-dominated industry, and you are also one of the few inspiring women who take lead on the real estate market. And like so many, not so many, but handful of more than dozen women's realtor are also in market. So being said that, you brought here, you educated here, and you learned here, and you are giving back to the community. Just personal side, how do you feel being you are neck to neck competition with all male counterpart? What do you feel to helping finding home to your clients and our community people? Especially home decision is also driven by lot women participation. I'm asking this kind of question is slightly personal, but it's for very interesting for our listener. Please unmute and go from here.
Okay, let me just confirm your question. So
Yeah.
are you asking as a
So
female?
I'm asking too. It says, "Oh man, so you are the industry is highly dominated by the male. So how is you are doing well in this kind of scenario? And second, how you are helping our community women in this through your business?"
Okay, great question. So my dad has about, I don't know, 4, 5, 6 houses. I cannot count, right? I have been managing this property for almost 8 years. In the last 8 years, obviously renting them out, helping him make a great decision on commercial property, like investing on homes, actually renovating and selling. So I take that knowledge, what I learned, what has already worked, and I actually apply it to my clients. So I tell them my background, hey, you know what? This is the thing that things should work. You know, if you do this, you're going to profit this much in this many years, right? So coming with my knowledge, I tell everybody, I tell every one of my clients, if you are even not my clients, hey, just take 1 hour consultation from me and couple of other realtors. It can be your community, other community, male, female, and you make the right decision picking the right agent for you, right? So I think people see that. People's, oh my God, she actually has the knowledge. Because when we buy, let's say, like some people have like go just to buy a condo because all of their friends are buying a condo. I said, why are you buying a condo? You know, well, because our friends have bought a condo. Well, how much funds do you have? So looking at the fact they actually have funds, you know, from their home country to afford a home here, right? So for this kind of, you know, group, we want to help them make a right decision. And obviously, if you have the money, go buy a house, you know, detached home, that's better for you, because not only because you're getting your rental income, of course, your home equity value is much higher. So something like this is an example what I share with them, and then it has actually helped my clients pick me because I give them a greater value over the years. So, hey, I win the competition, you know, whether you're a male or female, and, you know, working with a female realtor, when you go home to home, you're going to pick at those little things because you know what the home is supposed to be like, right? You want the kitchen perfect because for cooking. And I take a male client with me for a showing, and I would be like, hey, you know what? I think this kitchen's going to be a little smaller for your wife, because I have that taste of woman already. So I think a lot of people like that. And once they see my presentation, 1 hour, like a buyer and seller consultation, and I feel that my clients really like me, and they make a decision to pick me out of all the competition in our community.
Awesome. I want to add in Jimmy again, because Jimmy is since last 1 and 10-15 years, he's in real estate market. He's seen so many up, so many down. So most our listener is worried about, they are not worried about present, they are worried about near-term future. They are most of what happened in 2021, they are making lots of pre-construction project and their closing is calm, and they have this also about the old houses. So they are looking near-term projection. Even Bank of Canada cannot predict, or so many brokerage company cannot predict, but so many asking from your mouth. I mean, they are asking what will be the near term next 3, 6, and 9 months. What will be the total scenario? They are asking again. Have you some clarity for our viewer, Jimmy? I want to take your expert advice. Please unmute and go ahead.
So those people who bought it last year or year before and their closing is coming soon, for them, like some properties are probably not gonna meet the appraisal value. But in that case, I've always advised like everybody, like or anybody who have been in this kind of situation, talk to their mortgage broker and find out if they can qualify for newer appraisal value, or if there's any setback and there's differences. There are other lenders who might be able to go in on a second or maybe third, if that's a crunch. But cautiously, if I were to tell you, there's another way is maybe talk to the builder via lawyer, try to come to a common ground on the price, because at the end of the day, builder wants to close the property. They want to transfer the deeds, right? And everyone knows how the market has driven in such a way last year that was like a driving a car with a blindfolded driver. So it didn't crash, but it had to come to a halt. And people are picking up the ramification of last year's market. But moving forward, anybody who's buying or those people who bought it, I hope they had a bank rep to lock in that rates until the completion. And Amrita can second on that. It's my recommendation to any buyers who are going into pre-construction or any kind of like a future tangible properties. Talk to your rep and have him lock in that rate for you and approval until you get the possession of the property. And it's very prudent for anybody to do that. You know, like it's the smartest idea. And people in the industry who are seasoned industry standard guys, they will probably recommend that. And obviously, if those people who have done that, they will be safe. If they haven't done that, I gave you a second option of talking to a builder or going to second or third lender to get the possession of
Okay,
property.
to continue with Amrita. So how is the current market which kind of rate is affecting there? They have to put more down payment, or what's the industry average? How many percentage of this house which have value, they are the appraisal is the number that in buy in this market? I think now is
Right.
the bank is appraising is they want, or what's the total industry standard now?
Right.
Yeah.
So and just one thing that Jimmy said, you can book new build rates for 2 years. Some of them, okay. Some special projects you can book like even 3 years in advance. So it's pretty good. Okay, so Purnaday, in terms of the differences right now, it's drastic compared to a year or even 2 years ago, right? Before, the variable rate used to be lower than what the fixed rates were, right? And so a lot of people took variable. When variable was low, a lot of people took variable. Right now, variable is higher than what fixed is. So when you look at something called the stress test rate or the qualifying rate, this is not the rate that people pay. This is the rate that you qualify in order to get a mortgage. So right now, the rule is whatever the interest rate is plus 2%, or it was 5.25%. So when you're looking at variable rates, let's say they're around 6.5%. That means that someone has to qualify at 8.5%. to get a mortgage. So sometimes people, they don't have a choice in terms of going with variable. Variable might be a good option if you think that the market's going to swing in the next 6 to 8 months and you want flexibility. But a lot of people have to choose fixed because fixed gives them a lower qualifying rate. It lets them qualify for the mortgage a little bit easier than the variable. And on the fixed side, the 1 and the 2 year fixed is priced higher because the short-term rates obviously give you more flexibility. If the rate situation goes down and you have a 1 or 2 year, you have an easier exit. But if you go with a 3 year all the way up to a 5 year, you get the best discounts. You qualify the best, but again, you're locking yourself in where maybe the market could change. And we've seen obviously this market do crazy things within a 6-month period. It could do the same thing, at a later point in time, the opposite way. We don't know. So that's my take. Does that make sense? Now, Jimmy, yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah,
Like
Jimmy wanted. Yeah, please unmute, please. Please unmute, Jimmy. Please, yeah.
Amrita, you brought out a really good question. Like, what is the rate right now? Maybe one of our viewers probably want to know the rates, like 5-year
Right.
fixed rate, open rate, like 2 years, 3 years. What is the rate that you're offering? Like, I mean, obviously, I would like to know too.
Okay, well, they're bad. Like these are crazy. All the rates starting from the 1 year up are above 5% posted. Okay. So if you go to the bank and you go to the branch or you call in, they're going to tell you a particular rate, right? Maybe I think the 1 year is around 6.05 now, depending on the volume, right? Depending on the volume, depending on the time, because every week these rates change, right? So they're always subject to the time that you speak to your mortgage specialist. They should book the rate in for you. And it's saved for, at least a 30-day period before you submit the deal. And then it's saved for about 120 days. So anyway, the rates are high.
So, the bond market is taking a beating.
It is.
Feds increased the rates in states, and it kind of echoed all across the world except for us.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you see in next 30 days that the rates on a primary lenders like TD, RBC,
right?
Where do you think these guys are going to be adjusting their rates? Like I'm not talking about the variable rates or their, I'm talking about their like a discount rates, like a 1 year, 2 year, 3 years.
Okay, so on the fixed rates, okay, again, this is just an opinion. Okay, I'm not talking in terms of any particular entity. I'm just giving you a personal opinion based on what I've seen so far. The fixed rates, my opinion, with what you've just mentioned on the bond markets, and Canada's been the most aggressive so far in lowering inflation, right? So we're around 5.4% last number, which is down from 8% in the beginning. So there's a very steep downward curve if you look at the inflation model. And with what was happening in the US and what's happening in the bond markets, I read an article which was talking about how there could be a U-turn very quickly, right? There's a possibility that they could reduce by 25 points first and then 50 points as soon as this year. It could even happen, in the next 1, 2, or 3 cycles, depending on how this bond market is going. So this is where we differ from the US. We're a lot more conservative when it comes to our monetary policy, and hence, we may get it under control before them, but we always follow suit. So we have to watch out what's happening there. So I think rates could potentially, especially on the fixed side, if they don't choose to reduce, even go up again, rates could be a little bit better on the fixed side.
Yeah, as for
Just an opinion.
So there is one fundamental difference between US and Canada is they lock mortgage for 25 years or 30 years in single cycle. We do 3 to 5 years. So we only mortgage 3 to 6 years in Canada, but in US, when they buy home, they lock for 20 or 25 years. So that's the fundamental difference. And as a industry, in a wholesale industry, in other consumer side, the wholesale price is going very down. They are going 10, 15 to 20, 25%. Also shipping cost is going very down. That all affecting the inflation. So when inflation is down, so the government is the सरकारले के चाहन्छ कि जब inflation is down, they want to keep, but they want to healthy. मैले यसमै कमलाजीलाई जोड्न चाहे. He is listening so patiently. We gentlemen are talking. मैले तपाईलाई भन्न खोजेको तपाईको क्लाइन्टहरुलाई how is you are more in focus in east side of the Toronto, how is your focused target market is doing over there, and how you can तपाईले चाहिँ आफूलाई कसरी मार्केटिङ गर्नु भएको छ कि तपाईले तिनीहरुको बेस्ट भ्यालु अफ द दिनु भएको छ, कस्तो खालको इन्डस्ट्री एक्सपर्टाइजहरु तपाईले युज गर्न चाहिँ त्यो उहाँहरुलाई बेस्ट भ्यालु दिइराख्नु भएको छ कमला तिवारी जी.
मैले हजुरको क्वेशन रिपिट गरे है त. सो
तपाईले कसरी चाहिँ जस्तो अहिलेको मार्केट चाहिँ एकदमै कम्प्लेक्स मार्केट छ, कस्तो खालको एडभाइस दिएर तपाईको कस्टमरलाई चाहिँ you give best value to the customer then a lot of bunch of realtor over there. That's my question.
Great. So every city is different. हैन, तपाई ब्राम्पटनमा जानुस्, हल्का फरक छ. मैले एउटा ट्रान्ज्याक्सन अटोवामा पनि गरेको थिएँ, त्यहाँ एकदमै फरक छ हाम्रो यो टोरन्टोको मार्केट भन्दा. सो जुन जति पनि हाम्रो क्लाइन्ट्सहरुले low interest हुँदा if they bought a home, obviously there's not much left into their pocket, हैन. If they are trying to cash out ASAP, like within a year, I mean, during that market, we all know it wasn't the best market, right? So if you try to cash out that bucket, there's not much. I have to be honest with my client, right? And then now let's say someone bought a home or a condo before 2019. Hey, we have something left in their bucket. You know what? I mean, I think if you bought a condo, obviously there's some profit between, even though condo prices hiked a lot between 2019 to 2022, and there was a smaller drop in like this year, right? Coming to 2023, even though with the drop, they have something left of a profit if they bought a house before the year of 2022. So the cash out is good. So someone were to buy a condo, this is a great move. Obviously, there's not much gonna be a profit like last year, selling the condo and moving into a single detached home. But if somebody were able to take that small bucket and pour it into a single detached home, so we are buying a detached home now that we're costing during the high market, low interest, about over 1.3, they're coming for a 1.150. So as soon as the market raises up, my clients will probably have those type, the ones I'm talking about, more than 200,000 on their bucket list. So this is the strategy I'm using in like the Scarborough market and the Toronto market. Even when you buy like, let's say you don't have a lot of money, right? Like you're just starting new. You can buy like a condo under 500,000, at least one bedroom, right? Now, that doesn't cost much of a down payment, although there might be higher cost. So then it's a very small amount that you're investing. Hey, down the years, this is a great market. You're going to take that money as soon as it rises up. Even condo will give you more than 100K. Like when the market goes out, the 500 is going to come to 600, which is pretty good return, right? Down the year. So you can take that and increase it. I think like some of the examples I give who bought last year, my God, like I show the numbers for so-and-so house. Oh my God, this how much they paid, overpaid. Now, if you were to buy the same house, you will be paying under price of 200K, 100K, whatever, right? That's the way I go. And I am confident that, like my buyers are left out with the most value in their pocket. So if there's some property, there are some sellers who don't want to give their property for like undervalue, right? So they look at the last year market. I don't want to give it. I tell my buyers, hey, let's get out of that house and move on to the next, right? I know that can be your dream home, but I want some money left in your pocket as well, right? You can, And then that's the way I move on to the next home. If that doesn't work out, and there are some sellers who are who bought a home around 10 years ago, and now they're doing some upgrades, downsizing, let's say going to retirement home. So this is where most cash lies. If my buyer were to go to buy a house, I would do some research about these homes, what happened to the property, why they're selling it, if they were bought last year and then I were to put an offer, I would tell my buyer, okay, let's get out of this deal because it's not gonna be worth it. So I mean, that's the way I.
So I will conclude you. So you give the numbers, then you show the option, and then you convince them this is the best option for this particular.
More than the number, it's my research, right?
Okay.
So I don't want to give somebody that said buy a home again who already bought during the high market. They've already paid it. Of course, they're not going to give it back for a low price, right? I become very selective on their decision making, and I help them make the right decision.
Thank you, Kamala Tiwari ji. आदरणीय दर्शकवृन्द, ग्लोबल क्यानाडा टिभीबाट हामी आज प्रत्यक्ष प्रसारण टोरन्टोबाट छौं। हामीसँग रिगम्याक्स रियल्टी ब्रोकरेजबाट कमला तिवारी हुनुहुन्छ, त्यसै गरी आइप्रो रियल्टीबाट जिमी घिमिरेजी हुनुहुन्छ। जिमी घिमिरे इज working more than one and a half decade along his family. जिमी को पार्टनर पनि real business हुनुहुन्छ भने अमृता भट्टराई, he is a mortgage swami, he work for all kind of mortgage, and र हामीलाई ग्लोबल टेलिभिजन क्यानाडामा यो शोहरू गर्नको लागि हामीलाई प्रोग्रामहरू एडभर्टाइज थुप्रै कम्पनीहरूले गर्नुभएको छ। म उहाँहरूको नाम लिन चाहन्छु। हामीसँग क्यान कन्सल्टिङ सर्भिसेसले गोल्ड स्पोन्सर हो, त्यस्तै भिसारेड इमिग्रेसन कन्सल्टेन्सी सर्भिस हाम्रो इभरग्रिन स्पोन्सर हो। त्यसै गरेर हामीसँग इन्टरनेसनल क्यारियर काउन्सिलिङ हाम्रो चाहिँ इभरग्रिन स्पोन्सर हो। लाइक so many other company we are supporting. We have some program lineup is coming tomorrow and other days. Tomorrow we are talking with the Nepali beer, Utsav beer को बारेमा कसरी सुरु भयो र Utsav beer अहिले कहाँ पुग्दैछ, Nepalese entrepreneurले another सेक्टरमा विशेष गरेर लिक्वर इन्डस्ट्रीमा पनि पसेर हामी कसरी गर्दैछ भन्ने बारेमा हामीसँग त्यसका टेक्निशियन र फाउन्डर सौरभ ठकुरी र अहिलेका त्यसका सिइओ भूमि घिमिरेसँग हामीले टक गर्दैछौँ भने नेक्स्ट विक सन्डे हामीले डेन्टल केयर, वान अफ द हेल्थ केयर इम्पोर्टेन्ट हो क्यानाडामा, डेन्टल केयर एक्सेस अझै पनि त्यति छैन, त्यसको बारेमा हामी डाक्टर निलु केसरीसँग हामी कुरा गर्दैछौँ। त्यसको लगत्तै हामीसँग इन्जिनियरिङहरूले विशेष गरेर अहिले चाहिँ कमर्सियल र अनि त्यसपछि ग्रुप इन्भेस्टमेन्ट पनि गइरहेको छ। इन्जिनियरहरूले कसरी काम गरिरहेको छ भनेर हाम्रो होस्ट क्रिस खड्काले इन्जिनियर पुण्यसागर मराठा र सँग र विष्णु बरालसँग अन्तर्वार्ता लिँदै हुनुहुन्छ भने त्यसपछिको हप्तामा हाम्रो एनआरएनको इलेक्सन पनि आउँदैछ, त्यसको बारेमा हामीले विशेष प्रोग्राम गर्दैछौँ। र 9th of the अप्रिलमा अहिले क्यानाडामा फुड इन्डस्ट्रीमा मोमो मेनिया भएको छ। तपाईको नेपालीहरूले आफ्नो एक्सपर्टाइज ल्याएर क्यानाडाको प्रत्येक रेस्टुरेन्टमा अब चाहिँ मोमो पाउने जस्तो बनाइसक्नु भएको छ। त्यसको बारेमा पनि मोमो जोनका बाबु गौतम र रूपा पौडेल लगायत मोमो फ्याक्ट्रीका बुद्धिजीसँग हामीले कुराकानी गर्दैछौँ। र हामीलाई यो प्लेटफर्मको लागि हेल्प गर्ने सबै स्पोन्सर एडभर्टाइजरलाई धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छौँ। र हामीले विभिन्न तरिकाले तपाईहरुको बिजनेस पनि प्रमोसन गर्छौँ र त्यसको लागि पनि तपाईहरुलाई हामीलाई सम्पर्क गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ। म ब्याक टु जिमीतिर फर्किन चाहन्छु। जिमीले नट ओन्ली रेजिडेन्शियल पार्ट, कमर्सियल पार्ट पनि हेर्नुहुन्छ र धेरै नेपालीहरू अब एउटा दुईटा तीनटा घर पुगेर स्याचुरेट भएर अब कमर्सियल इन्भेस्टमेन्ट प्लस आफ्नै बिजनेस पनि गर्नको लागि कमर्सियल प्रोपर्टीहरू हेर्दै हुनुहुन्छ। र अब जहिले पनि एउटा ट्र्याप भनेको लिज कि बाई भन्ने अलवेज हुन्छ, इभन कमर्सियल पनि त्यो लागू हुन्छ। र जिमीलाई कमर्सियल भर्खरै आएको हुनाले कमर्सियलमा कस्ता खालका तपाईको क्लाइन्टहरू आइरहेका छन् र तपाईहरुले नियर टर्म लिज अथवा नियर टर्म बाई कस्तो खालको सल्लाह दिनुहुन्छ, जिमीलाई मैले यो प्लेटफर्म दिए। जिमी घिमिरेज्यू।
I've been doing commercial for quite a while. Engineering background भएको भएर म डेभलपमेन्ट साइडमा छु हैन। मोस्टली मेरो कमर्शियल क्लाइन्ट्सहरु चाहिँ बिल्डरै हो। I sell like 10 acres, 20 acres, त्यस्तो खालको छ। I've done all across from here to Kitchener, land parcelहरुको सेलको लागि हैन। There's a lot of calculation behind it, त्यसको लागि तर हाम्रो कम्युनिटी छ अहिले जस्ट वी आर बडिङ आउट भएको भएर हामीमा चाहिँ बिग कोर्पोरेसनहरूले लिएको छैनन् तर स्मल लिजहरू रेस्टुरेन्ट्सहरू लाइक कन्भिनियन्स स्टोर्सहरू त्यस्तोमा हाम्रो अहिले भर्खर हामी चाल्दैछौँ र वी आर भेरी भेरी भाइब्रेन्ट कम्युनिटी एन्ड वी आर भेरी भेरी अग्रेसिभ कम्युनिटी हामी सानो भए पनि आई थिङ्क वी हेभ द बेस्ट अफ बोथ वर्ल्ड्स हाम्रोमा एउटा युनिटी पनि छ साथै हामीले एकअर्का ट्रस्ट गर्ने पनि छ तपाईँको रेस्टुरेन्ट सेक्टरमा हेर्नुहोस् लाइक अलमोस्ट एभ्री हक्का रेस्टुरेन्ट इज ओन बाई नेपाली गाई होइन almost every restaurant has a Nepali contribution to it. सायद तपाईले ससको कुरा गर्नुस् मोमोकै कुरा गरौँ हैन मोमो is becoming so juicy and everyone loves it, you know, they enjoy it, it's new fad for them, so people are using it. तर back to commercial कुरा गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ commercial unitहरु चाहिँ अहिले धेरै युनिटहरु बन्दै छ र there are two things that you have to watch out for commercial unit. Number one, is it a condo commercial unit? Is it a commercial unit that you have to lease? There's a big corporation, Philgate देखि लिएर तपाईको Smart Center देखि लिएर तपाईको huge corporation REIT-हरुले तपाईको यसमा कमर्शियलहरुमा उनीहरुले ओन गरेको छ जहाँ कि तपाईले युनिट लिँदाखेरि तपाईले you have to rent out. रेन्ट गर्दाखेरि TMI देखि लिएर सबै चीज हामीले हेर्नु पर्छ र what is given from them. We negotiate with the landlord on different front, like leasehold improvement देखि लिएर how it's structured. कति मान्छेहरुले तपाईले देख्नु भयो होला ओ मेरो लीज सिद्धियो I have no other place to go, मेरो रेस्टुरेन्ट त बन्द हुने भयो. If they had got a really good realtor, a legal advisor in the beginning, this would not have happened. किन उनीहरुले आफ्नो बिजनेस शट डाउन गरेर जानु पर्छ. 15 वर्ष काम गरेर 5 वर्ष काम गरेर बिजनेसलाई प्रमोट गरेर like you take it to a certain level and then now you have to pack up your bags and leave. यदि प्रोफेशनल मान्छे जो कि रेसिडेन्शियल, there's two difference between residential and commercial realtor. यदि commercial realtor तपाईले जो अलिकति एक्सपिरियन्स commercial realtor लिनु भयो भने commercial realtor ले यो कुराहरु सबै हेर्छ. Sometime people want to come out of their contract too. त्यस्तो खण्डमा what are my avenues, what are my courses, you know, like where do I go, त्यस्तो कुराहरु चाहिँ पहिलेदेखि हामीले सेट इन द प्रिन्ट्स लेख्नु पर्छ. साथै कमर्शियलमा चाहिँ अब कमर्शियल लेन्डरहरु चाहिँ धेरै किसिमको कमर्शियल लेन्डरहरु छ के जो कि त मान्छेहरुलाई TD देखि लिएर RBC मात्र नभएर उनीहरुको they have other things too. तपाईहरुलाई यदि कमर्शियल एक्विजिसन गर्न खोज्नु भएको छ, किन्न खोज्नु भएको छ भने मलाई कन्ट्याक्ट गर्नुस्. कमर्शियल र घरमा चाहिँ के फरक छ भने कमर्शियल एउटा प्राग्मेटिक डिसिजन हो. Does the numbers make sense or not? हैन why म किन यो ठाउँमा जान्छु, what is the demographically key studies छ त्यहाँको स्टडी गरेर तपाईको डेटाहरु कहाँबाट ल्याउनु भएको छ. Are you Atlas guy? त्यो there's third party डेटाहरु किन्छौं हामीले हैन जो कि ट्रेबमा अथवा तपाईको मेट्रिक्समा हुँदैन, त्यो थर्ड पार्टी हामीले लिन्छौं. you have to be a member of that हैन, कमर्शियल टिमको मेम्बर हुनुपर्छ. मेरो टिममा we are 6 people, 3 real residential side, 3 on commercial side. So this is what we do. भन्दाखेरि तपाईको commercial लाई which direction you want to go, you cannot be emotional decision. Emotionally गर्ने होइन, it has to be a pragmatic decision. किनभने कमर्शियलमा किचन हुँदैन, तपाईको हिट सुट हुन्छ. What do you do? कसले ओन गर्छ? Every inch of the property has to have a jurisdiction, who does what. यो कुरा चाहिँ फाइन प्रिन्टमा लेखेकै हुनुपर्छ. र म आउने जति पनि दर्शकहरुलाई के भन्छु भने if you have a commercial question, तपाई सायद लिज गर्नुस्, जग्गा किन्नुस्, घर बनाउनलाई जग्गा किन्नुस्, अथवा तपाईले प्रपर्टी किन्नुस् या फार्म किन्नुस्. यदि त्यो तपाईकोमा if you have that kind of vision, म यो गर्न खोज्छु भने what are my avenues, मलाई फाइनान्सिङ कसरी गर्ने, मैले कसरी किन्ने भन्ने बेलामा चाहिँ मलाई फोन गर्न सक्नुहुन्छ. I'll leave my phone number at the end of the show हैन. तर commercial is one of the best thing for anybody to go into if you know what you're doing.
ओके, मैले यसमै कन्टिन्यू गरेँ अमृतलाई। हामीसँग अब बिस्तारै जस्तो हिज सेड भेरी राइट वर्ड एन्ड भेरी वान इम्पोर्टेन्ट वर्ड इज फर residential, for your primary residence you have emotion attached, but in commercial, emotion is running business is a kind of emotion, but more than emotion, if you are not running directly on business on that commercial property, you have to make all business decision on that. Amrita ji, how much new businesses are approaching to you and Nepalese community ko kura gariheka chhau, how they are going to make next 3 to 5 year, how will be the commercial market for Nepalese community, so entrepreneur hununcha जो बिजनेसमा सुरु गरिसक्नु भएको छ अथवा आउन चाहनु भएको छ, तपाईले कस्तो देख्नुहुन्छ नेक्स्ट 3 to 5 year नेप्लिज कम्युनिटी कसरी कमर्शियल प्रोपर्टीमा अगाडि बढ्नेवाला देख्नुहुन्छ अमृत भट्टराई जी अहिलेको नम्बरको आधारमा?
I think I've seen a huge trend right now, a huge trend, just like Jimmy said, होइन, हाम्रो कम्युनिटीमा त्यो एउटा passion नै छ real estate को, होइन. I've seen that passion, and residential mata they've been doing very well, very well. हाम्रो कम्युनिटीमा I was very shocked actually within a short period of time when I started in that in my role currently as a mortgage specialist. I saw our community came very strong in terms of their strategy, right? Many people successfully invested in residential. Many people, they used all their resources. They saved vigorously. Their financial regimen was very good, and they were able to, get 2, 3, 4 properties residentially. And now the same people that did very well residentially, because now they have equity, they are investing in commercial. Right, which is also a very different financing game than residential, right? So I specifically do residential, and within residential, it's very complicated, right? So commercial is a different level of complication, right? When I was I have colleagues in the industry, and one of my colleagues was telling me in the commercial mortgage side, some of these appraisals, commercial appraisals, could cost 10 grand, 5 to 10 grand, just for one appraisal to be done. That maybe that lender wants a particular style of appraisal. So they're like apples and oranges, right? Both are property, but the big thing here is zoning, right? Zoning is like it's regulated to the bone, right? Of what you can do with the property. Sometimes people even buy residential thinking they could maybe do something commercial out of it, right? But there's risk to that. That's why if you're going to do commercial, you want to speak to someone that, just like Jimmy has said, someone that has experience in that area and is doing that, because they're completely two different ball games, two different strategies, right? On the bank side, they have commercial banking. They have small business because they don't look at it the same way, right? They look at financial statements, balance statements, cash flow, history. So I think in the next 3 to 5 years, from what I've seen just personally within our Nepali community, is there is an aggressive approach right now to investing in real estate. And that is ultimately the evolution is going to go towards commercial, right? When the market was hot, the sentiment was hotter, right? Now when the market has cooled, then I think it's not as heated as it was, but then those who are fully focused on value investing, they can pick a choice, pick a place, and they think that place is going to go good because of many different economic factors. Then those are the people that are sticking to the game. Speculation I think is less right now. People used to speculate more because you could throw money at the wall at any real estate and you'd get a profit. But now you have to think. Now you have to use your strategy and figure out what are the pros and cons of any investment, right?
Awesome. मैले यसमै जोड्न खोजेँ कमला तिवारीजीलाई। नेप्लिज कम्युनिटीमा यो इन्डिभिजुअल लेभलको इन्भेस्टमेन्टको हामीले कुरा गऱ्यौँ। अब चाहिँ हाम्रो चाहिँ कम्युनिटी वाइज अथवा ग्रुप इन्भेस्टमेन्ट अथवा कर्पोरेसन इन्भेस्टमेन्ट पनि रियल इस्टेटमा निकै आइरहेको छ। विशेष गरेर चाहिँ कर्पोरेसन बनाउने 5 जना 7 जना 10 जनाको मनी इन्भेस्ट गर्ने लङ टर्म, whether they are agriculture land or they are the commercial land, अथवा अर्को खालको ल्यान्ड अथवा कन्डोको लागि ल्यान्ड अथवा कन्डोमा नै किन्ने, जुन कमर्सियल नट ओन्ली एकजनाको मात्रै हुन्थ्यो भने कमर्सियल गर्ने कर्पोरेसनहरूले किन्ने खालको यस्तो खालको अब जुन ट्रेन्ड आइरहेको छ नेप्लिज कम्युनिटीमा, यो ट्रेन्डलाई तपाईहरुको रियल्टरहरुले तपाईहरुको ब्रोकरेज कम्पनीहरुले किनकि अब यो ट्रेन्ड हुनेवाला छ यसलाई कसरी तपाईहरुले चाहिँ एड्रेस गर्ने प्लानहरु बनाउनु भएको छ आर यु रेडी फर दिस काइन्ड अफ इन्भेस्टर ग्रुप टु मेक नेक्स्ट लेभल मैले कमला तिवारीजीलाई सोध्न चाहे
I think so. पहिला सुरु त हजुरसँग एउटा ग्रुप हुनु पर्यो हैन जुन ग्रुप चाहिँ you're very close to work with who have already accumulated some sort of wealth. Like obviously यो चाहिँ हामीले गएर अब मैले खास काम गर्ने भनेको newcomers who just came in to Toronto, make a living. Obviously, I cannot go. I can provide them the option, but I cannot be like, oh, okay, let's invest on this land. We have a great thing. If you invest individually, you can make money. There's something wrong decision I don't give, right? Also for like free construction can be very good, but I always like me as when I bought my first property, like if my real estate agent had advised me not to, at least buy a property to live first, I would be saving a lot of money. So we want to give the right decision to the correct group of people, right? So once you have accumulated that wealth group of people, for example, my dad is a restaurant owners. I can go and, like we have a project, okay, let's invest on this one by one, right? But right now it's a very challenging time, especially this time. A lot of people have already invested last year, like, I go and ask like my dad's friends who are already restaurant owners, they were okay, we're tight with finance. Okay, so I don't know, right? So when the market picks up, we definitely have a plan to go and approach the right group of people. It doesn't have to be the restaurant owners. It can be the second, like a homeowner who has had a home for a couple of years and has accumulated equity. Go and approach them and then ask them to invest in such a way. But you want to pick a project that's gonna lead to greater values. Like buying like an empty land without government has already built infrastructures can be very costly to the people and give a lesser return in a long run. You will be just like a piece of land sitting there, right, doing nothing. Got it? So so pick a land such a way that when you make your decision to reaching out your clients, you want to go where government has already built those infrastructures, right? So that way, like when you buy that piece of land and build something in it, it's actually going to give some return for, people out there. We don't want to push them into something that's not going to give a return in the long run.
Okay, thank you very much. So दर्शकवृन्द हामीले मोटामोटी स्प्रिङ मार्केटको बारेमा कभर गर्यौं अलिकति अनि त्यसपछि अब स्पेकुलेसन भन्दा पनि एकदम रियलिटीमा आधारित बिजनेस छ र त्यही अनुसार इन्भेस्ट गर्न हाम्रो रियल्टर र मर्गेज ब्रोकरहरूले मर्गेज स्पेसिस्टहरूले हामीलाई त्यो बुझ्न हेल्प गर्नुभयो भने कमर्सियल प्रपर्टी पनि अब नेक्स्ट ट्रेन्ड हो बट कमर्सियल ट्रेन्ड गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ तपाईले चाहिँ इमोसन त्यहाँबाट हटाएर नम्बरको आधारमा चाहिँ इन्भेस्ट गर्नु भन्नुभयो एकदम द्याट्स अ भेरी गुड साइन एन्ड र अर्को चाहिँ अब केही समयमा given that everything is okay and based on data तपाईको चाहिँ रेट घट्ने वाला छ ब्याज रेट त्यसले अलिकति ब्रिदिङ स्पेस दिन्छ भन्ने पनि जब हाम्रो मोटामोटी ट्रेन्डको बारेमा कुरा गर्यौं र म अब अन्तिममा लास्ट अलमोस्ट हामी वी आर 1 hour so it's Sunday morning, Saturday morning is already long for, so one by one I want to conclude your remarks and what's 1, 2 or 3 point take home message from your audience, our audience. तपाईले अब भन्नै पर्दाखेरि के भन्नुहुन्छ म कमला तिवारीबाट सुरु गर्छु अनि जिमीबाट गएर अमृतबाट इन्ड गर्छु लास्ट टेक होम मेसेज के हुन्छ कमला तिवारी जी 1 घण्टा हामीले यति सुनेपछि तपाईले के सल्लाह दिनुहुन्छ प्रोस्पेक्टिभ बायर र एक्जिस्टिङ बायरलाई कमला तिवारी जी
First of all, thank you so much for giving this opportunity to share today. And it can not only help us, but also the people who are making the right decision buying a home. Obviously, right now, like, it's a great time to buy because I've seen the numbers coming, on a high market versus 2021, right? So for the new buyers. For sellers who've already bought a home before the year 2020, this can be, some return, not the greatest return, but if you're looking for upgrade, it can be a good, you can sell it, make some money off, invest in a couple of ways, because since, the right now is a buying is good, right? So I honestly wouldn't recommend for someone coming who bought it during the low interest with the high price selling right now, and then because that could be a loss, you know what I mean? So anyone who bought a condo or something before the year 2018, you want to sell it and upgrade this time, this is a perfect time. The condo might not give you the greatest return, but when you buy that home, you can lead to a greatest value. Thank you.
Awesome, thank you. त्यस्तै गरेर मैले जिमी घिमिरेलाई 1 2 3 टेक होम मेसेज एन्ड फर prospective buyer, prospective investor and prospective he covered lots in our show, and he is one of the industry leader, so we appreciate, and people should appreciate, because the expertise doesn't come without working on working hand to hand with in the market or in the ground. So so that respect come with responsibility. What will be the 1 2 3 suggestion, Jimmy? I give you time for you.
म चाहिँ अब सबैजना दर्शकहरूलाई thank you so very much for joining in, and to Purnaji and the whole TV team for giving us an opportunity to come in on the show. म यति भन्न चाहन्छु कि Toronto market, especially GTA market, East End, West End, North End, South End, doesn't matter where it is. Just be careful what you're buying and where you are going. Have all these professional look at your deals, especially pre-construction deals with a lawyer, and have a mortgage broker run it by them one time. On the other hand, what I offer is I'm one of the top negotiator for last, I don't know how many years. We have seen the market from 2006, 7, 8. We have seen the market. We have seen the 2014 market. We have seen 2017 market, 2021 market. So if you ever want to have investment opportunity that you want to seek out, I have many products across GTA to buy semi-detached, townhouse, detached, condos, resale. We have a team of people who wants to help you out with their expertise. We do have a set of lawyers, home inspectors, all of that. If you want to have a suggestion from them before you buy, I would be more than happy to help you out. Lastly, buying a home or buying a commercial property is a huge decision for anybody. It is enormous amount of money that you're putting out. There are a lot of opportunities. You can go 5% down to 20% down products. If you have a house, or if you have a condo, or if you're a newcomer, or even people who are on a work permit, you want to know how to buy a house, why invest, where to invest. I'm a phone call away. मेरो number हो 647-407-7876. त्यो भन्दा भन्दै I just want to emphasize, we just launched a project in Pickering and in Toronto, and we're going to be launching another project in Oshawa. So in Oshawa, it's low rise. We are detached, semis, and towns. We're going to be launching new springma. First dibs in the pocket. Always call me. We launch before it goes in the market. Market only for our client, we launch the project. So they get to choose which one price wise. Market price बढ्छ. साथै त्यस्तो हुँदा हुँदै तपाईहरुले सोच्नुस्, if you want to go into that avenue, just let me know. And I want to thank the panel and Kamala. It's not easy. My wife is also a realtor, and she came into real estate before me. So I know the struggle that we go through, like women go through. So I want to congratulate you for joining and doing a successful work. So thank you, and all the newcomer realtors or realtors who are in process of becoming a licensed holder. If you haven't found a place to join, Team Gimmery is always expanding. We have projects across Ontario, so we need people to work with us to help us out and help your clients get a first package, first price. So always, if you are a realtor, just come call me, and then we can move forward from there.
Thank you, Jimmy. On your note, पूर्ण सृष्टि घिमिरे जो रियल्टर पनि हुनुहुन्छ, उहाँ तपाईँभन्दा अगाडि आउनुभएको भन्नुभयो र मैले हाम्रो सोमा पनि तपाईँभन्दा उहाँलाई नै अगाडि नै लास्ट इयर हामीले चाहिँ उहाँको टक सुनिसकेका छौँ। तपाईँ सेकेन्डमै पर्नुभयो। द्याट्स अ काइन्ड अफ कम्प्लिमेन्ट, द्याट्स वाइ। एन्ड जस्ट स्मल एनाउन्समेन्ट, हाम्रो विन्डसोरमा चाहिँ हाम्रो नेपाली नयाँ वर्ष पनि आउँदैछ। सबैलाई नेपाली नयाँ वर्ष अब अप्रिल 14-15 मा नेपाली नयाँ वर्ष पनि आउँदैछ र किरण गजमेरको लाइभ इन विन्डसोर हुँदैछ। त्यसमा पनि तपाईहरुलाई नेपक्यान इन्टरटेनमेन्ट आइएनसीले गर्दैछ र ग्लोबल क्यानाडा टेलिभिजन त्यस पनि अफिसियल मिडिया पार्टनर छ र त्यसमा पनि तपाईहरुलाई चाहिँ आउनको लागि हामी अनुरोध गर्दछौँ र त्यसका टोलीलाई पनि हामीले न्यू इयरको वरिपरि हामीले चाहिँ हामीले प्रोग्राम गर्नेछौँ र सबैलाई हामी हुन त हामी आउँदैछ फेरि आउनेछौँ र तपाईहरुको तर्फबाट पनि नेपाली नयाँ वर्षको शुभकामना दिन चाहन्छौँ र जाँदै लास्ट टेक होम मेसेज, one of the not promising, is always a proven person. He is in mortgage, so maybe so many mortgage on behalf of all mortgage broker, mortgage specialist, our mortgage Swami Amrit Bhattarai, mortgage Swami Amrita Bhattarai ज्यूलाई last concluding remark को लागि र टेक होम मेसेज को लागि अनुरोध गर्दछु। थ्यांक यू भेरी मच फर ऑल दर्शक र अमृत भट्टराईलाई मैले फ्री टाइम दिए केही मिनट प्लिज।
Hello, thank you, Purnadai. Thank you, Jimmy Dai, and thank you, Kamalaji. You guys were awesome panelists. I learned a lot today. The three things that I'm going to say is, one, file your taxes. Okay, don't be miser on your taxes, especially if you're claiming rental income and you want to use that rental income to help support you on another property. File your taxes. Show your rental deposits, even if you're taking cash. Deposit it into your account. Okay, show it, have a good paper trail. Number two is be realistic, okay? You don't want that headache of a mortgage falling through a few days before closing, right? So I will give you realistic advice. I will tell you exactly how I see it and what the numbers and the calculations look like. I will advise you and you can make a decision from there. Right? But be realistic. Don't go into anything blind. Always know exactly how your application is being structured and why is it being structured that way. And number three is, be creative in terms of how you think about how you will get the next property, right? Maybe you have equity in your home. Maybe you don't know about that equity, right? Maybe you didn't know that you could use the equity in your home to invest in another home, right? So these are all things that I have long conversations with clients. Personally, I've done over 100 million in booked mortgages in the last 2 years. So it's been quite the ride, and I've seen this market go crazy. But I think the pipeline of immigration is there, 500,000 a year that are coming in. That's going to keep this market going crazy for a little while, especially when rates drop. So thanks again.
Thank you. So you will hit the 1 billion mark in a few years. So he has already 100 million. So it's 900 millions there to reach 1 billion. Hopefully
1 billion soon. Yes.
You will reach. Thank you, Amrita Bhattarai. Yes. He's also directly involved in the TD Canada Bank and other mortgage agencies. So thank you, Amrita Bhattarai. Thank you, Team Gimire from Jimmy Gimire. Yeah. Thank you, Rigmax.
Just TD Bank. No other mortgage agents. Just TD Bank.
Yeah. TD Bank.
Okay.
You have the people in the right advice in the mortgage in any
advice, in the mortgage industry for sure. Yes.
So that's why I'm telling, and thank you, Kamala Tiwari ji. He's bursting in the market with quite swing. We all very happy to this morning sharing with us and our audience. And thank you very much. Have a great day. And हामीले दर्शकहरूलाई फेरि पनि अब स्प्रिङ मार्केटको अरू थप जानकारी लिएर अझै सिजन र अझै प्रोफेसनलहरूसँग त्यस्तै नयाँ आउनेलाई पनि उसले प्लेटफर्म दिन्छौँ जब कि दे क्यान ब्रेक द ब्यारियर एन्ड दे गो फरवर्ड। सो थ्याङ्क यू भेरी मच एन्ड सबैलाई धन्यवाद दिँदै आजको ग्लोबल क्यानाडा टिभीको लाइभ टक सोबाट पनि हामी सबै बिदा चाहन्छौँ। हस्, नमस्कार।